Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Friday, August 13th. Thanks for being here for your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I want to start off by saying sorry for yesterday because we had a bit of an audio issue, but figured it out today. So if you listen to this on a podcast platform, you didn't get an episode of 3 News Now yesterday because we noticed the audio issue after the videos already went out. So we spared the people who listened to the podcast from having to deal with that audio issue. But we have fixed it and we are back today with a lot of important news. First up today, now the FDA has authorized an additional COVID-19 dose for people with weakened immune systems. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone, but it does apply to millions of Americans who are especially vulnerable because of things like organ transplants, certain cancers, and other disorders. Now, this is in line with what several other countries are doing. That's including France and Israel, who already have similar recommendations in place. The decision only applies, though, to high-risk individuals, high-risk adults in the U.S. That's about 3% of U.S. adults. It is not an opening for a booster dose for the general population. And what we're talking about here are the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, those two-shot vaccines. Separately, U.S. health officials are looking closely to see if and when people's immunity starts to sort of dip and when it might be possible to require a booster for everyone. But for now, the vaccines continue to offer strong protection for the general population. Again, this booster shot is only for people with weakened immune systems. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. We've been following them closely this week because they have been very high. Now, they are not as high today as they were yesterday, but in the last 24 hours, Ohio is seeing 2,732 new reported cases of COVID-19. That's a decrease from what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we saw 3,272 new cases. The high this week came on Wednesday with 3,393 new cases. And that was a significant increase from the day before. That was more than 1,000 more from the day before. That's the same thing we saw on Tuesday, more than 1,000 more than Monday. So the numbers jumping around a bit, but still very high. We haven't seen numbers this high in quite some time. Right now, there are 1,266 people currently hospitalized with COVID-19. That's 48 more than yesterday. And of those 1,266 hospitalized, 397 of them are currently being treated in the intensive care unit for COVID-19. That's 26 more than we saw yesterday. And again, what the health officials are telling us is the people who are hospitalized, by and large, unvaccinated Ohioans. There has been another bill introduced in the U.S. legislature to try to ban student mask requirements. This has been introduced in the Ohio House. Ohio GOP state representative is making this push right now. It's State Representative Mike Loychik, a Republican out of Bezetta, Ohio. He is seeking co-sponsors on this bill. The bill would prohibit schools in Ohio from mandating that students wear masks. Now, the bill would not keep faculty, staff, and guests from being mandated to wear the mask, but just the students. This representative is saying that this should be at the option of parents. It should not be directed by publicly funded schools. Now, this is the second bill on student mask mandates to be brought up in the General Assembly here in Ohio. State Senator Andrew Brenner, a Republican out of Delaware, Ohio, also created a bill, and that would prohibit the state school board, the Ohio Department of Education, or individual school districts' boards of education from mandating mask wearing. Meanwhile, the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association said this week that children are making up 15% of all new COVID-19 cases across the nation, and that is causing a strain on pediatric facilities and making them contagious as well for unvaccinated and immunocompromised adults. And remember, we talked earlier this week with a doctor on our 3 News website, WKYC.com, about recommendations for what children need to do moving forward, and that doctor urging mask wearing, saying that we are looking at what will be a rise in pediatric hospitalizations if we continue to follow the trend that we've seen in other states that have had rising COVID-19 cases and rising adult hospitalizations. Staying in the Ohio legislature, there is now a proposed bill that would eliminate the required concealed carry license here in Ohio. A concealed weapons permit would become optional under this new bill, and the requirement that individuals promptly notify police that they are carrying a concealed weapon would be eliminated. This is under this legislation proposed in the Ohio Senate. Now, the bill is similar to a measure that's also pending in the Ohio House. It's one of several Republican-backed proposals in recent years seeking to expand gun rights in Ohio. This new concealed weapons bill, called constitutional carry by the people that support it. It was introduced August 5th by State Senator Terry Johnson. This is a Republican from southern Ohio's Scioto County. Now, keeping the permit optional as opposed to eliminating it altogether, what that would do is it would allow gun owners who do get that concealed carry permit in Ohio to have reciprocity and have that agreement honored with other states that do recognize those concealed carry permits. Now, Johnson didn't return a message seeking comment on the bill, but earlier this year, Representative Tom Brinkman, a Cincinnati Republican, noted that it's already legal to openly carry a firearm in Ohio without a license or training. And a comment that has been made about this bill is that the people who support it don't necessarily see the difference in needing the permit if you choose to put a weapon under a coat or under some sort of fabric or piece of clothing. Switching gears here, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost has frozen the assets of former utility chairman Sam Randazzo related to his role in the FirstEnergy bribery scandal. Our 3 News investigative reporter Mark Namick was on this story. He told 3 News on Thursday that legal papers were filed to garnish the assets of ex-Public Utilities Commission of Ohio Chair Sam Randazzo. Yost previously filed a lawsuit to force Randazzo to return a $4.3 million payment that he received from FirstEnergy Corporation. The company recently admitted the payment to Randazzo was a $4.3 million bribe. Yost said this is the first action to freeze assets that flowed out of this corrupt deal. He said that was filed on Thursday, the garnishment, and so far they have frozen a little over $300,000. They're still working through bank accounts and looking for other assets. Now, as a reminder, this is all tied to the scandal involving former Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, who, by the way, was reelected to a seat in the House before being removed by his colleagues. And it's all about the use of dark money related to passing a bill to bail out 2 nuclear power plants owned by a subsidiary of FirstEnergy Corporation, and also to keep a referendum from undoing that legislation. Householder, as I said, was indicted, reelected, removed by his colleagues, and maintains that he has done nothing wrong. And with all of that, it is time to take a good news break. We publish It's All Good News every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. on the WKYC YouTube channel. You can find that at youtube.com/user/WKYC-TV. We also have a landing page on the WKYC.com website. It's WKYC.com/itsallgoodnews. And I am calling this week's episode the unofficial birthday celebration episode. We have people birthday celebrations, 2 very big deal people birthday celebrations, and we even have a pet birthday celebration. So check that out. It's at WKYC.com/itsallgoodnews, and there's a lot of other interesting stories rolled in there too. I highly recommend it. I've also tweeted it, so you can find it at _Stephanie Haney if you follow me on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield tweeted a tease of his season 3 of the Progressive Insurance campaign. The campaign is At Home with Baker Mayfield, and it shows Baker Mayfield and his wife and our special contributor, Emily Mayfield, at home at FirstEnergy Stadium. We get to see them doing all kinds of fun things. Baker tweeted out a preview, and we're going to get to see that before we actually get to see the Browns kick off the official NFL season. It will debut on September 9th, which is the NFL season opener, probably between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football is where we can maybe expect to see that. I'm sure it will be a lot of fun. Last year's episodes include a cameo from then Cleveland rookie left tackle Jedrick Wills Jr., and Baker Mayfield was spotted filming with Alice Cooper for potentially this upcoming season. So that will be a lot of fun to see. And remember, the NFL preseason kicks off tonight, and this Browns preseason kicks off on Saturday at 7 p.m. with the Jacksonville Jaguars in Florida, so we can catch all of that. Now, Speaking of things kicking off, you might want to know what is coming to Cedar Point in 2022, and there will be some changes. We are learning from Cedar Point that the park's frontier town is getting a brand new chef-inspired signature restaurant. So if you're a Cedar Point foodie, that's information for you. We'll get you more details as soon as we have them. But what we also know is that the Wicked Twister roller coaster, not coming back. And we don't necessarily have details on why it's not coming back, what they might be making room for. But we do know that the last ride for the Wicked Twister will be on September 6th. Now, outside of the park, Cedar Point will be welcoming guests back to the reimagined Castaway Bay Hotel. It's got all new rooms, enhanced amenities, and updated dining. And Sawmill Creek by Cedar Point, which is just a few miles away from the park's main gate, they're having a full renovation of guest rooms as well, and eclectic dining options. So another one for the foodies. Golf course upgrades too, if you're going there for the golfing. Outdoor amenities, and an enhanced convention and meeting space. So if you're going to have a meeting there and maybe tie Cedar Point into your experience, that's the update for you. They are scheduled to open before the 2022 summer season. And of course, we know that the Gold Pass is coming back. And if you buy that $99 Gold Pass to get your admission to Cedar Point and Cedar Point Shores for all of 2022, you also get the rest of 2021 for free. So keep that in mind. And if you do decide to do that, you get early admission too to Cedar Point Shores and Cedar Point, the amusement park. So check that out. Now, we've got to talk about the Ohio State graduate and Medina native who is just killing it on Jeopardy. Matt Amodio is his name, and as of yesterday, he became the third highest grossing player in Jeopardy history when he won his 17th consecutive game. He's won $547,000 so far. He passed that $500,000 mark on Wednesday, so he is number 3 on the list now. He is behind only Ken Jennings, who has won almost $2.5 million, and James Holzhauer, who has won a little over $2.5 million. So he's got a long way to go to catch up, of course, and those guys have been on Jeopardy many, many times, but he is now third in the running. Now, he is originally from the Cleveland area, from Medina. He graduated from Ohio State. Now he's in New Haven, Connecticut, where he's pursuing his PhD as Yale. Now, we tried to talk to him. I reached out. I tried to get a hold of him, but can't talk to him while he's an active contestant because Jeopardy airs on a different station. So tonight is the season finale, by the way, for Jeopardy. So if he wins tonight, then we'll have to wait until the new season, September 13th, kicks off to see how long he can keep this train running. This is the 37th season finale. So that new season, the 38th season, kicks off on September 13th with Mike Richards as the host, and also we'll see Mayim Bialik on there as well. One more story to let you know here before we go. PETA is asking our Cleveland baseball team to add a veggie dog mascot in the hot dog derby. You know there's ketchup, you know there's mustard, you know there's onion. Well, they want a veggie dog. And I got to read some of the statement to you because you know I love a good bad pun. So here's what they're saying. They said that they want the team to continue the spirit of inclusivity that they have started by changing the name to the Cleveland Guardians. Here's some of that statement. Now that you've scored a home run by switching your team's name to the Cleveland Guardians, we have a pitch that we hope you'll embrace as a way to continue that spirit of inclusivity. Will you please add a vegan hot dog mascot to your hot dog derby? And PETA even says if they agree to do it, they will buy the veggie dog costume and veggie dogs for all the players. Veggie dogs are sold in the stadium at Progressive Field, by the way. I've had them a couple times. PETA also says that they have ranked Progressive Field among the top 10 vegan-friendly ballparks in 2019. So they think that they should bring in that veggie mascot. They say, we hope you'll take this opportunity to step up to the plate by giving vegan fans someone to cheer for in the hot dog derby and representation in Tribe Hot Dogs community outreach. They said, thank you for your time and consideration. Best of luck this season. Now, the Tribe hasn't commented on whether or not a veggie dog will make its debut in the hot dog derby anytime soon, but I have to wonder what that would look like. How are we going to distinguish the veggie dog from ketchup, mustard, and onion? And veggie dog isn't a condiment, so I'm not sure that it actually fits in with what they've got going on there, but you know what they say, if you don't ask, the answer is already no. So we'll see what they do with that. And that's it for your 3 News update today for Friday, August 13th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I will see you back here on Monday with more 3 News Now.